Do you have difficulty walking from a neurologic condition? Are short distances okay, but long distance difficult? I'm Dr. Judy Gooch, and I'm here today to tell you that it is okay to use a wheelchair for long distances. Many people with neurologic conditions walk well for short distances, but longer distances are difficult. The neurologic conditions may cause walking to be slow, tedious, and sometimes even painful. Sometimes when I've suggested to somebody to use a wheelchair for longer distances, I hear that if I get in a wheelchair, or if my child with cerebral palsy uses a wheelchair, they will never walk again. I will become dependent on the wheelchair. Or walking keeps me strong. If I use a wheelchair, I'll get weaker. But if you have a neurologic condition, walking can take a great deal of energy. Going to the grocery store can be like running a marathon. Anyone who runs a marathon daily or even weekly will break down. This is too much wear and tear on the body. And as we get older, wear and tear matters. If you break down your body from doing too much, you may not be walking at all as you get older. But yes, it is also important to keep walking, to not lose the ability to keep strong and also to keep your weight down. So if you can walk, you should walk. You should walk every day. So how do we balance keeping up walking, but not walking too much? I'm going to show you some examples of some young people who have neurologic conditions who both walk for short distances and use a wheelchair for longer distances.
So I walk short distances, like around the house. I sometimes use the chair in the house if my legs are feeling weaker that day for safety reasons. I'm getting a power chair for college because I just started college, and going to college campuses would wear out my shoulders, and I don't want to do damage to those muscles. So I'm using a power chair to save my body in the long run. So it kind of is a balancing act, but it'll preserve my body in the long run to kind of mix and match whatever my needs are at the time. This is my wife, Michaela, and my son, James. We've been married for 4 years, and he's 3 years old. Just started preschool. We're so proud of our little guy.
My name is Amanda, and I'm 31 years old. I have cerebral palsy, and I use this scooter here for long distances and because it makes me look cool. And then around the house and, in other people's houses and closed spaces, I, still get up and walk around and, yeah.
A child with cerebral palsy may have a lot of difficulty walking. If this child goes to school and walks to recess and the cafeteria, first of all, they're not going to be able to keep up with their peers. And second of all, they're going to be exhausted. And if they're exhausted, they're not going to learn as well. So a balance is to have the child walk in the classroom and then use a walker or a wheelchair to get to recess, to get to the cafeteria. And that way, they'll be able to practice walking, but also to keep up with their peers and to learn better. So remember, if you can walk, do walk, even if it's difficult, and walk a little bit each day so that you'll keep up your strength and your fitness, and you'll keep up the ability to walk. But don't run a marathon every day. You don't want to wear down your body over time. So for longer distances, if you are hurting, if it is making you tired to walk, use a device, use a walker, use a wheelchair, and strike that healthy balance.